Hi, boys and girls, and welcome to episode number 2 of Stupendous Summer Science with Miss Kathy from Shaler, North Hills Library. And we are going to start this session off with another book about science, Yasmin, the Scientist, by Sadia Faruqi. I'm not sure how to pronounce that name, but it is a wonderful story. Chapter 1, Science News. Ms. Alex had finished the science lesson. Remember, the science fair is next week, she said. The science fair? Yasmin had forgotten all about it. What do we make? Yasmin whispered to Allie. Anything we like, Allie said. That wasn't very helpful. Coming up with an idea was hard. What if Yasmin couldn't think of one? Ms. Alex heard them. Don't worry, Yasmin. You'll think of something, she said. After all, science is all around us. Outside in our classroom, even in our kitchens. Like when Mama cooks dinner? Yasmin asked. Ms. Alex smiled. Yes, cooking is also science. After school, Yasmin asked Mama, what should I make for the science fair? Mama was busy in the kitchen. Ideas are everywhere, Jean. Not helpful. Soon Baba came home from work. Baba, I need an idea for the science fair, Yasmin said. I made an erupting volcano when I was your age, he said. It was fantastic. Chapter 2, A Volcano Mess. Baba showed Yasmin videos of kids making volcanoes. Some volcanoes were big and tall. Others were short and colorful. All of them made a mess. Science is messy, Yasmin complained. Baba nodded. Sometimes learning is messy, Jean, he said. Don't worry. On Saturdays, Baba and Yasmin gathered supplies. Clay from Yasmin's room, vinegar and baking soda from the kitchen. Would you like to help you? Baba asked Yasmin. I want to try this by myself, Yasmin said. Baba patted her shoulder. I'll be in the living room if you need me, he said. Yasmin got to work. She read the instructions they had printed. She shaped a volcano out of clay. Her first try didn't look anything like a volcano. On her second try, there were no bubbles. On her third try, she spilled vinegar everywhere. Her volcano was a mess. Yasmin stomped her foot. What was she going to do? Nani entered the kitchen. How about a lemonade break? She asked. Yasmin nodded. All this science had made her thirsty. Nani squeezed the lemons, then she got out the sugar cubes she used for her tea. Yasmin loved sugar cubes. She popped one into her mouth. She rolled 2 more cubes like dice on the table. They landed in some spilled baking soda. Nani poured Yasmin some lemonade. Yasmin put the 2 sugar cubes into her glass. Fizz! That lemonade popped and bubbled. Yasmin gasped. My lemonade is erupting! Chapter 3, A Delicious Experiment. It was the day of the science fair. Yasmin got to school early. What will you be presenting, Yasmin? Miss Alex asked. Yasmin held up a big bottle. Everyone gets a cup of lemonade, she said proudly. Allie looked confused. That's not a science project. You'll see, Yasmin replied. The students began to set up their projects. Everyone was excited to present them. Emma had grown beans in a jar. Allie was floating eggs in water. Ms. Alex and Principal Nugent took notes on each one. Soon it was Yasmin's turn. First, she lined up the paper cups. Then she poured the lemonade. Next, she dropped in the sugar cubes. Finally, Yasmin stirred a little baking soda into each cup. Pop, bubble, fizz! Everyone clapped. Amazing, Miss Alex said. Clever, Principal Nugent said. It's an erupting volcano without the mess, Yasmin said with a grin. And delicious. The end. So she learned that you could find science projects everywhere. Some of the words we heard in that story: Baba is father, Jean is a sweet nickname for a loved one, and Nanny is the grandmother on the mother's side. I think those were the only words we had in this story. And we are going to try this fizzy lemonade experiment. So let's see, we have here, let me move you down here so you can see what's going on. We have a glass of lemonade, and we have some baking soda on some wax paper. And I'm going to put some of these sugar cubes into the baking soda, roll them around. I have not tested this out, I will tell you, so hopefully this works. Get a couple of them in there. Does not seem to me like it is sticking too well to the sugar cube. But in the book it says she added some baking soda after, so if we need to, we might need to go with that. We'll do 3 just to be safe, because it still may not work. No, that's what happens in science. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, and you just have to keep trying. Okay, well, I got 3 that might have some baking soda on it. Let's see what happens when we drop them in. 1, 2, 3. Well, we got a little bit of fizz. Not a whole lot, though. Not enough to show on film. So let's try adding some of the plain baking soda. Turn it around this way so you guys can see. And see if that makes a difference. Oh, now we're getting a lot of fuzzing. Can you hear that? Can you see it? So it is again the baking soda there. It's stopped fizzing now. But it was a lot of fuzz and fizz when we first dumped it in. And, of course, it is safe to drink because baking soda is safe. And sugar is always safe, right? For most people. And I don't know that you want to drink it, but you could. So that was her lemonade fizzing experiment. Now, I used lemonade mix. Another experiment would be trying it from scratch using lemon juice and sugar and seeing if that makes any difference over it. But it's still edible, a little bit fizzy, like carbonated pop might be. And you do taste a little bit of the baking soda in there. So you may not want to drink the whole thing, but you know that that is an experiment, the same one that Yasmin did in the book, Yasmin the Scientist. So thanks for watching with us, and stay tuned for more stupendous summer science with Miss Kathy. Those crystals and some seeds. So if you have any seeds around home, you can make use of them right now. We are going to grow a garden with our seeds and crystals. It's called test tube gardening. So I guess you would also need to get some test tubes if you don't buy the ones that come online. So you can get them at arts and crafts supply stores as well, I believe. So let's see. First, before you do any work in a garden, you always have to prep it and get it ready. And that usually involves digging up the dirt and doing that sort of thing. But we don't have dirt in our magic garden. We have these super absorbing crystals. So let's see what he says to do to prep our garden. Fill 2 plastic cups with warm water. They should hold 8 to 12 ounces of liquid. So 8 ounces is 1 cup. And we have our measuring cup here. And I have 2 plastic clear cups. So we are going to fill up both of them with warm water. We're going to measure 1 cup. There seems to be something from outdoors that has landed in our cup here, so we are going to get that out. It's like a little needle or something. And pour that into our 1 cup. It's still plenty warm. Warmed it up on the stove. And let's try 1 more cup's worth here. And we're going to pour that into our other cup. Okay, we have, to top it off, we have still a little bit of warm water. Top it off with a little bit more because it said 8 to 12 ounces. So if we have a little extra in, that will be fine. Okay, next step in the prepping process here. Pour half of the bag of water jelly crystals into one of the cups and choose one of the seeds to soak in the other cup. So if you buy them online from Steve Spangler, you get in your test tube a variety of little seeds here. I'll dump them into my hand so you can see. We have all different types of seeds. So he says choose one and put it in a cup. So I'm going to choose this one. To be honest, I don't know what these various seeds are. This one looks like that. I'm going to put it in that cup right there. And it is... Hi, boys and girls. Another episode of Stupendous Summer Science with Miss Kathy here. We are continuing an experiment that we did before, the test tube gardening. And we had soaked a seed in some water last night. And we had put our super absorbing crystals into water and let them grow. They were just a few crystals laying on the bottom of the cup before, and now they are a full cupful. Okay, so then we are going to fill our baby soda bottle to the top with these full-grown crystals. So let's get our baby soda bottle out here. This has some more of the crystals that I haven't used in it, as well as some seeds we didn't use yet. Just 1 seed this time. And we're going to put these crystals into our test tube here. Again, you can get these crystals elsewhere, and you can buy a test tube anywhere. Might be helpful if you can stand it up, because you're going to have to stand it up for this experiment. Fill it to the top with the clear crystals. Put this over here a little bit more so you can see it better. This is a new type of gardening, not using dirt, but using these crystals, I guess. Tap them down, see if we can get a few more on there. Okay. Looking good. We're all the way to the top. Okay, then it says, push the seed about 1/2 inch down into the baby soda bottle with your finger. So I'm taking my seed here. We have a little brown seed. I'm going to push it down just about, actually maybe I'll put a few more crystals on there first now that I've pressed it down a little bit. I'm going to put this seed into these crystals. Press it down a little bit. Let the crystals form up around it, close up around it. Okay, we have that done. Place the baby soda bottle in a safe, warm place so it won't be disturbed. And to make it stand up, they suggest putting it in a cap, but you can do whatever you need to do to get it to stand up. Record the date and time of your planting. Each day, return to record what changes have taken place. And you have to add some water occasionally to the tube to keep it wet because the seeds need water to grow, right? And then we'll experiment with what happens once our seed sprouts. So we're going to keep an eye on it for a few days and see how long it takes to grow. So I'm going to go grab my notebook and write this down. But if you are trying this at home, grab your notebook, write it down, and we'll see whose seeds sprout first. I'm going to put that aside and save all these other seeds that I have here to do this again once this one is starting to grow and out of the test tube. So stay tuned. We'll check its progress periodically on Stupendous Summer Science with Miss Kathy from Shaler North Hills Library. Thanks for watching. Hi, boys and girls. We are continuing our discussion from yesterday after reading Fairy Science about how the fairy wanted to save the tree that was dying by giving it more light. And there was a way to plant your own seed and let that grow using a plastic bag in the back of the book, but you needed to let your seed soak overnight. So now we have our seed here, and we have put into this plastic baggie a wet paper towel. Now we are going to put our seed into this baggie with this wet paper towel, and then we're going to seal it up. And it suggests hanging it on a window with a piece of tape and letting the light get to it and noticing how that seed may start to grow. So let's see what happens with this. We'll be checking back, and we have another seed growing experiment going on at the same time, not using a plastic bag and paper towel, but using those super absorbent crystals that we have. So stay tuned for more of that experiment coming up.